You might create for a living like I do, and the thought of social media completely run by AI is not so far-fetched. That pressure you feel to use AI for everything is getting stronger and stronger. I even created a brand new channel, got AI to write a script with no changes from me, and it's already getting some traction. But in a world where every creative is fully relying on AI, what irreversible damage is it doing to us? Today, I want to show you the 3 mental defenses I've built to protect my mind and my team's mind from AI degradation. Answering questions we should all be asking, like, how do you actually use AI without degrading your mind? How do you avoid falling into the inevitable sameness problem? And how do you increase your value to society in an AI-dominated future? Whether you're a solo creator growing your social media or someone responsible for a global brand, how you maneuver the creative space in the next few years will determine the rest of your life. This isn't a doomsday video trying to boycott AI either, quite the opposite actually. AI is the future whether you like it or not, and your success starts with setting up a defensive strategy. But first, a little sit rep. In every action movie, video game, and story, the hero always takes time to understand and gather information on their target or situation. So let's understand how AI reliance can degrade your mind. First, we start with your mind in isolation. Our mind is a muscle with 2 major sides, and one side is for creative thinking and the other for critical thinking. These muscles can only grow through progressive overload, a gym term basically meaning that in order to gain muscle, you need to train harder than last time. For the majority of our lives, we've been training our minds by advancing through education, dealing with problems, and practicing our skills. But for the first time in our lives, we've been presented with an opportunity to send a clone to the gym to do the heavy lifting for us, which is AI. It sounds great on paper, but what actually happens to you over time? The longer you go fully relying on AI, the faster our mind decays and the faster we become replaceable. You lose your natural ability to create, which means you get outshined by AI, leading to losing all your value, losing your job, followed by a surge of huge unfulfillment. That's the brutal effect of full AI reliance as creatives, unless the right defenses are in place. At this current moment, you can get away without using AI. Not using it entirely in a few years, though, would be like shooting yourself in the foot. But there's a way to use AI without the nasty side effects, and it's time to set up your first defense. Bollards. You see them everywhere, and I didn't even know they were called bollards. They're designed to prevent cars from crashing into high traffic areas and important buildings. The important buildings in our case is our mind. So how do you actually build them in our minds? By understanding how to limit your reliance on AI during the creation process. To drill this new idea into your head, I'll be using The Dark Knight. I never thought I'd actually say those words. So Batman has to save multiple hostages from a multi-level building crawling with bad guys. Let's use this scene as an analogy for you trying to write a video script. The hostages are the good points we've made, and the bad guys are the potential flaws in our rough script, which we can't see yet. Batman asks Fox to give him a scan of the building. This is us using AI to scan our work to see the problem from multiple angles. Just like this scene, this is where AI gets tricky. ChatGPT tells you to change your hook to something more intriguing, but you already know based on niche knowledge and data that what you have already is going to work. What do? You see, in this scene, Joker dressed up the hostages as bad guys to trick Batman, but the scan didn't tell him that. It just showed him where people were. If Batman relied on the scan without using his raw instinct, then this would be a different story. AI has a tendency to give you the perfect answer, but perfect is rigid. The beauty of creative work is in its natural imperfections that come from using our instinct. In our case, AI will tell you things that it deems right and make suggestions on how to make it better, but if you can't distinguish bad from good on your own, we'll blindly listen for better or worse. So consciously deciding to use AI as a creative assistant instead of the full solution is our mental bollards working to stop massive AI suggestions from affecting our work. For example, I like to ask AI to read a hook and give me reasons why someone would continue to watch and why they wouldn't. It attacks a single section from multiple angles like Batman's sonar scan. Rarely does the changes it actually suggests ever sound great, but I'm able to identify why they suggested it and make my own tweaks if needed. This keeps your creative and critical thinking abilities engaged. And like Batman having to physically beat down the bad guys, I suggest keeping a habit of also practicing karate, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo. I suggest keeping a habit of also practicing analog forms of creativity. Write on pen and paper. Sit down with your ideas and flesh them out once in a while. This grows your creative and critical thinking muscles. Imagine if Bruce just asked Fox to take care of everything all the time. Eventually, Bruce will lose the ability to be Batman and Fox will take his place. Even though Morgan Freeman as Batman would be funny to see. So let's summarize why we built Mental Ballards. We do it so we can maintain our own ability to think critically and creatively by using AI as an assistant rather than a full solution, which allows us to continue improving our own raw skills and instinct, not just for self-fulfillment, but to increase our value to the world. The next defensive unit we're building is going to future-proof your skill of creation so you can thrive in a world run by AI content. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. One of my favorite quotes, and in simple terms, we need to be constantly watching the battlefield, a reconnaissance unit. In almost every video game, there's a way to find your enemy's location, weaknesses, and tendencies. Most commonly used are UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, dating back to 1964 when they were first used for recon purposes. So let's build our own. Knowledge is power, and your ability to see, read, and hear about AI within and adjacent to content creation is going to allow you to make the right decisions for a better future. How do you do this? By curating what you consume on whatever content medium you choose. I've been doing this for months and have already found a massive flaw with AI to take advantage of, which we'll touch on in just a second. You see, having a dedicated YouTube account to only show videos covering content creation, creativity, AI, tech advancements, and things of that nature will increase the depth of your awareness level. You can watch MrBeast on another account. Find newsletters from trusted creators or groups that dive into the world of content. Follow accounts on X, IG, and TikTok that give you quick, summarized bits of info in the world of AI and creativity. By doing this, I found a way to take advantage of AI's biggest flaw, the sameness problem. The sameness problem is our world moving towards an AI-dominated content space, which means it's inevitable that all content will become uniform and indistinguishable, because AI uses pattern-based creativity. AI works by analyzing vast amounts of data and finding patterns, then recombining those patterns in new ways. The outputs can only come from what the model has seen during training. Humans, on the other hand, have experiences, emotions, and intuition that fuel truly original ideas. AI can't have conscious experiences. So if we stop putting our original ideas into the world, then the majority of content will be AI generated. If majority of the world's content is AI generated, the new models are being trained using only AI generated data, eventually leading to the sameness problem. This means everything we see online will eventually look and feel the same. So how do you take advantage of this? By continuing to improve your craft daily in order to pump out original ideas. You'll have to stop relying on AI to create for you. Learn to bring out your unique voice by going through the trials of content creation. Nobody has lived your life and has had your exact experiences, so the connections you make and the ideas you form will be sought after in a world full of rigid AI content. Because the content market is like a pendulum. From raw content to theatrics, back to raw, and now swinging towards AI, it will return. The pendulum always swings back. Those who have been mastering creative thinking will not only see a massive surge in popularity after the AI content boom, but will be safe from being replaced by AI. New ideas fuel the world, and if the same old ideas are continuously fed into the engine, it's eventually going to implode. Inspiration and information are prerequisites to original ideas. And those can only be found with the use of your UAV to locate videos to watch, podcasts to listen to, and books to read. So we've built Ballards to help us grow our critical and creative thinking ability. We've created a recon unit to find us inspiration and valuable information. Now it's time to guarantee the protection of your creativity from a world designed to kill it. SAM turrets. In 1953, the first operational surface-to-air missile system was created for the US. They called it Project Nike. Not after the brand, but instead the goddess of victory from Greek mythology. Instead of shooting down jets, you'll aim them at a much stronger force, the distractions in our world that pull us away from doing the work that matters. Distractions like our own bodies, mind, and vices. So how do you build one, and what does it shoot down exactly? Well, everyone's SAM is going to be built differently because everyone's environment is unique. You may be 16 just starting out as a freelancer, or you may be a creative veteran working with billion-dollar brands. Regardless, the objective of everyone's SAM is the same. Shoot down anything that causes friction between you and work. Let me tell you a quick story. One of my new writers came to me and said he was struggling with his ability to make connections, form deep ideas, and put words on the page, the equivalent to climbing Mount Everest without a jacket. I immediately knew what it might be, but I didn't say anything yet. He then gave me a play-by-play of his average day. Starts his day with breakfast, does work, goes to lunch, and then comes back to do more work. My internal Sam immediately wanted to shoot down breakfast and lunch, because after years of searching for answers, I found working fasted is the best way to work. Having a massive breakfast and lunch will almost always lead to brain fog. He switched his diet around and made significant progress with his own work. Flow state's kryptonite is food. Remember that. Now, the key to building an elite Sam is assessing your life quarterly to see what's stopping you from entering a state of deep focus consistently. Easy questions first. Is something throwing off your sleep? Do you have clarity on what to work on? Is your environment too distracting? Is your diet limiting mental clarity? Are you drinking enough water and electrolytes? As you go down this rabbit hole of self-reflection, you'll figure out what truly is stopping you from reaching flow state. There is no right or wrong answers either, because everyone's life is different. But with the combination of bollards, UAVs, and SAMs, we can all achieve creative greatness even if AI is running the world. We know now to use AI as an assistant rather than the solution. We know that we need to keep tabs on the AI landscape, and we know we need to spend undistracted hours on our creative craft. The world belongs to creatives, so make sure you stay creative.